Greetings and salutations, it's me, James, your BA Sensei, back with another Power Query tutorial. In today's video, we're going to take an Excel workbook. It looks something like this. Each and every sheet in this workbook represents a stock portfolio for a specific investor at a specific point in time. If we look at this one, portfolio 4, we got some context rows at the top, which we want to add as columns to our data set. And then I want to also take my year and append it to the months over there and unpivot it and consolidate it all into one data set. Will look something like this over there. We're going to be doing a lot of cool stuff in this video, so let me show you how to do it. All right, step 1, you have a brand new empty Excel workbook. You got a data, you got to get data from file, from Excel workbook. You choose the file containing your portfolio data. Say import. Now Power Query is going to give you a little navigator. It gives you a little peek inside of the file. You can see the table already isolates the tables for you, but that's not what we want because we want the context. These are the actual sheet names. You can see if I look at portfolio 3, I want to extract the context and add that as columns in there. So this is what I want. I want the sheet names. I'm going to select any of these. I'm going to say number 3, and I'm just going to say transform data. This opens Power Query. So let's quickly rename this to portfolio data set, yeah. And Power Query automatically adds your change type. Just delete that. Automatically promoted your headers. You say no. And it leaves you with the step called navigation. So what I want to show you something here is you go to home, just go to advanced editor. You can see it's actually declaring a variable called portfolio 3 sheet by default. All right. So you need to keep that in mind. Just copy that out there. Just Control C that. Okay, now we're going to add a step. What I want to do is I want to extract these 3 context fields over here as variables. So I'm going to say add a field. But what I want to do is I want to take this table and convert it to a list. So I'm just going to put in square brackets the column name like this, column 1 name, and it's going to convert this thing into a list. All right. So now what I want to do is I want to return, in brackets, I want to say return the very first value, and it's starting to count at 0, and that will return the company called Widgewood Partners. So I want to extract everything after that delimiter, so I'm just going to say Text.AfterDelimiter, and I say, yeah, that is a delimiter is that character over there, and we say cool, and now we have Widgewood Partners. Let's quickly rename this. Let's call this customer name. All right, so the next thing we want to extract is that investor, David Rolfe. So what we do is I can just look at this customer name and I can copy all of this out of there and just say add a new step and paste it in there. And this time around, I'm looking for value number 1. And there we go. There's David Rolfe. All right, and let's rename that to investor name. And now the other thing I want to extract is the year. So I'm just going to once again copy this out there. And I'm going to add a new step after the investor name. Just going to paste it in there. And this would be value number 2, which is the year. There we go. And this F2 and say this is called the year. So now I want to get to the rest of the data sets. Everything from the stock, the actual stock details. Now that I have those context saved, now that I have those context field names saved, I want to now go back to this data set and extract everything from stock onwards. All right. Let's quickly go to the advanced editor. You can see it declare that thing as portfolio 3 sheet. I'm just going to copy that out there. Yes. And go back to year and then say add new step. And I'm going to paste in there portfolio 3 sheet. That's what by default they called it. So depending on your workbook, it's going to give you a different name. But just be aware that Power Query gives it a default name. It's the sheet name. Okay. In this case, it was called portfolio 3 sheet. You can see now I want to basically strip out all of these junk rows at the top. That's quite simple. We just say Table.Skip. And my pattern is actually quite simple because I know in each one of these sheets, my table actually starts with the keyword, with the column name stock. So I'm just going to say where column 1 is not equal to the word stock. And close it up. And there you actually have the table. And we can just go in there. F2 and call that the portfolio table. Yeah. All right. So now that we have the portfolio table, what we want to do is we want to promote these headers. So I'm just going to say table promote headers. Yes. And there we go. The headers are promoted. All right, so now we have that. I want to take the customer name, investor name, and year and add them as columns to my data set over here. So I'm going to show you a couple of ways to do that. So first, I like to do it in Mquery. So I just add a new step and I'll say table, add column. And I'm going to say add a new column. Let's call this one the year. And what I say is each. And I just take that step name in there and I just say year. Close it out. And there we go. There's your year. Now the other way that you can do it, let's add, just go with the UI, go to add, say custom column. And let's say we want to add the customer name. And all I do is I just put in there the customer name step from there. I say, okay, there's your customer name. So now the next thing is, in this specific data set, we have March and October data, but you know, we can obviously have any month in there depending on the year context. So what I want to do is I want to unpivot these dates, but I don't want to hard code them. So I know we will always have a stock column, we will always have a year column, customer and investor. I'm going to right click and say unpivot all the other columns. So now this is going to unpivot the share amounts and then obviously the months. And then all I can do is, you can see it uses this function called unpivot other columns. And I'm just going to say the attribute should be the month, yes, and the value is actually the number of shares. And just press enter there. There you can see we basically now have it unpivoted. So once that's done, I want to kind of combine, see, my month and my year into one column and call it something like investment date. I'm going to do it all in one statement. So I'm going to add a new step and it starts with the unpivoted table, which is the previous step. And I say here Table.Combine.Columns, give it the table as an input, select the two column names in curly brackets. So I know I want to take the month column and I want to combine it with my year column. Put a comma there, you say combiner, Text.by.delimiter. I want to delimit the two by a space. You just put a space in the quotation mark, and then you say quote style is none because we don't really want to have a quote style there, and comma, and what is the new column going to be called? I'm going to call this investment date, and then close the bracket out. And there we go. Now we got a brand new column called investment date. And we can take the investment date and transform this into a date. All right, so you see the investment date is defaulting to the first day of the year month, but I want it to be the last day of the year month. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new step. And there we're going to say Table.TransformColumns. I love this function. You can transform existing columns in any way that you want. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the investment date in curly brackets. Yes, and I'm going to say each date, end of month, and I'm going to give it in brackets the underscore, which is a reference to that actual value, comma, and I'm going to say, I want to format that as type date. And what you get is you get the last day of the month. Pretty cool under the investment date. That's now transformed. Okay, so we're basically done here transforming all of the data from a single sheet. All right, so our next step is let's take this portfolio data set. We want to apply it, make a function out of it. Just click on it, you say duplicate, and we rename this, we call this the portfolio function. Yes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly go into its advanced editor. And in here, we can quickly declare an input because any good function needs an input. And we say input data. That's what we're going to call it. And we say as table because that's a table we put as an input, and we say as table, and we use a rocket dash. That's the format we're going to use. So I'm just going to copy input data. See that the source, we don't want to hard code the source, but you can see everything called portfolio 3 basically reads from the source. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete the source over there, and from this variable over there, I'm just going to replace the source there with my table name over there, and I'm just going to say okay, cool, and now that creates a function. Now what I want to do is I want to run it through every single one of my sheets. So I'm just going to copy, let's say duplicate this data set, and I'm going to delete all of these steps here. What you can do, you can go up to navigation, you can just say right click and say delete up until end. It deletes everything up until there. Cool, and in my data set, I want to run it through all of these sheets. I'm just going to say, give me all of the sheets in my workbook. Yeah, so now I have a list of all the sheets in my workbook that I want to run it on. Cool, and you can see there's the tables. Pretty cool. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to say, only give me, and I'm going to use double brackets. I'm going to say, only give me the data, which is that column. and it returns a one column table, right? You can see there it is. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add another column, say add column, say custom column. And in here, I'm just going to say, refer to my portfolio function name, there it is, and that's reference to that, and give it my data as an input and close it out, all right? And now what you can see is there's the data untransformed, there's the data transformed. So I basically pushed my function through all of it, you can see. So in my new step, I can just say Table.Combine everything in this list, and so from this table, in square brackets from the custom column, close the bracket out and then close that out, and there we go. It's all done. So now what I want to do is I want to say close and load, see what it does. There we go. Isn't that cool? Well, I hope these Power Query techniques taught you something new about the amazing, excellent power of Power Query and how you can apply it to some of your work. BA Sensei signing out.